Welcome to our live stream today. In this our live stream today, we are going to discuss about insecurity in Africa and how we can Nigeria at large. Our live stream this evening we talk about insecurity in Africa, especially in Nigeria as a nation. In Africa, we have witnessed a lot of security challenges, especially as it concerns a common man. In our live stream today, we are going to discuss the challenges of the common man in Africa and why we need to tackle them seriously. In Africa today, especially in a country called Nigeria, many people are dying every day because of insecurity and security challenges. Why is it so? It is so because our democracy has gotten to the level that is no more democracy. I can call it monocracy or familiocracy. Remember, I start by saying democracy in Africa has failed everyone. Africa is no more practicing democracy anymore. We Africans now are practicing autocracy. Nothing is working anymore. People are dying. People can no more go free to their villages. People can no more live freely in Africa. Africa needs a serious help. Africa needs peace. Africa needs love. Africa needs unity. Africa needs one love. Our democracy in Africa has failed everyone, and in the international world, it's not like that. We are the international community and the good people of Africa to kindly come to the aid of Africa. Our democracy has turned to monocracy. Democracy in Africa has turned to one-man show. Democracy in Africa has turned to familiocracy, where if you don't belong to the family that is ruling, nothing for you. If you don't belong to the ruling class, nothing for you. It's only those who are in power that will continue to perpetuate themselves in power. For instance, in a place like Zimbabwe, President Robert Mugabe was in on seat for the good 41 years. Mugabe ruled Zimbabwe for good 41 years. Imagine a child born in the year Mugabe became president. That child was alive till 41 years and Mugabe was still in power. So on this note, it is not good. It doesn't help anybody. It's not healthy for our democracy. It's never healthy for African democracy. So on this live TV today, we are calling upon the international community to come to the aid of Africa, especially on the insecurity of things that is happening in Nigeria. I remember vividly, within the last 1 week, there are security challenges, serious security issues in Nigeria in particular. Let me not come to other African countries. I will come one by one. At the course of this live video, we are going to mention things that are happening in Africa that we need intervention. God's intervention. God's intervention. Within 1 good week in Nigeria, a major general, or let me say a brigadier general in the Nigerian army, was kidnapped at Sambisa Forest in Maiduguri while he was going to Borno State. A whole brigadier general in the Nigerian army. Why I'm saying this is that I was opportune to have served in the Nigerian army for a good 11 years. I served Nigerian army 11 years, and I know what I saw, both in the war fronts, in Liberia, both in Sudan, both in Syria alone. I was in the army. I saw hell. I saw hell in the Nigerian army. Nigerian army is nothing to write home by. That is why these security challenges have before the country, because our leaders, the Nigerian leaders, they keep deaf ear on anything security challenges in Africa. Nigerian leaders, they don't care about security of their citizens. They're only after their family. They're only after their various households. Even their dog is better than a citizen. They don't care at all. I spent 11 years in the Nigerian army. I saw hell. What I saw, I could not believe it. Only God was able to save me. God, I spent the army and I came out. So what I'm trying to say is that the security challenges in Africa, especially in Nigeria, has called for a serious help. We are calling you upon my dear people who are watching me right now. We need help. Nigeria needs help. Africa needs help. Within 1 week, a general in the Nigerian army was kidnapped. And the general, his name is Brigadier General Mohammed Oba. He was kidnapped, he was captured by the ISWAP and Boko Haram, and he was killed. Brigadier General Mohammed Oba was captured last week and he was killed. Why? Because Nigerian security apparatus is not anything to write home about. The president himself is not doing anything to help the masses. He's not taking it, they are just keeping deaf ear on Nigerian security. So within an interval of a week again, 125 children was kidnapped in Kwara State. Another 25 children was kidnapped in another state in Nigeria called Kebbi State. The Boko Haram guys, they jumped through the fence and kidnapped 25 young school girls. In Kwara State, a church in Kwara where Christians were worshiping, kidnappers went to the church and kidnapped 125 citizens, Christians. And as I was talking right now, none of them have seen the wall of this world. They are still in the bush, suffering, gnashing their teeth. 125 church worshippers was kidnapped in Kwara State 2 days ago. And let me not say anything much more. In a day before yesterday, that was last night, another 120 school children was kidnapped in a secondary school in Niger State. Within the interval of 1 week, many negative things have happened in the country because of insecurity challenges. So I'm calling upon the government, I'm calling upon the international world to come to aid of this country called Nigeria. Things are happening, and nobody is anymore happy. Things are happening to the level that the country is now ungovernable. We call upon President Donald Trump to come to the aid of Nigeria. We call upon other international world powers, the President of America, the President of France, the Presidents of UK, the Prime Minister, and other world leaders to come to the aid of this country called Nigeria. Africa is at the verge of collapse. What is happening in Cameroon? Every day, men and women are being killed in Cameroon. People are dying every day in Cameroon because President Paul Biya wanted to continue to be in power. Up till now, the last election, President Paul Biya decided to rig the election for himself and for himself. Even his daughter campaigned against him. But till now, he started to perpetuate himself in power. Let me leave Cameroon. In Africa, I remember what happened those days. Laurent Gbagbo wanted to perpetuate himself in power. And the ECOMOG peacekeepers and the international community, they sent troops to intervene, which I was part of the troops that left Nigeria to Africa to fight against Laurent Gbagbo, who wanted to perpetuate himself in power in Africa. And today, Ls Ouattara, who is the incumbent president now since 2011, is still in power. He still wants to rule again, want to perpetuate himself in power. That is African democracy. Democracy has failed in Africa and it has failed woefully. Africa is no more running democracy. We are now running autocracy, familiocracy, brodocracy, and anything I can call it. That is why security challenges in Africa have continued to grow day by day. Hour by hour, people are dying. Many things are happening. Augustine, you are welcome, sir. So we are trying to talk about democracy in Africa, and things are happening. Thank you very much. You are welcome, my dear. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. So on today's live show, we talk about democracy in Africa, and we want things peace in Africa. I call upon the international community to come to aid of Africa so that peace will reign. Thank you for watching. Please, on this course of this live show, we're going to come up live again in a few minutes ago, a few minutes coming. Please, we are talking about democracy in Africa. We want the international community to come to the aid of Africa because many things are happening. Everybody is getting tired. People are looking for where to run to. People are looking for where to go. Even me, if it is possible, I will relocate. But we, the advocates, we can't relocate. We will continue to stay here and advocate for peace, advocate for good, advocate for things to change, advocate for democracy to work. Things are no more working well. I have served the Nigerian Army for 11 years. Out of the 11 years, I achieved nothing. Everything is fighting, war, hunger, insecurity. Every day, from one bush to the other, from one complete location to the other, things are no more working. Africa is at the verge of collapse. I call upon the international community to come to our aid. Why is this not working in Africa? The reason is very simple. The reason because our leaders, the leaders of the African countries, wanted to perpetuate themselves in power. Instead of them not to continue to be in power, they can decide to kill everybody. They can decide for the whole community, for the whole country to collapse, instead of them to leave seats. President Paul Biya conducted an election within a month ago, and he still continued to perpetuate himself on seats. He decided to rig the election for his own favor. Alassane Ouattara of Ivory Coast is still doing the same thing. Up till now, since 2011, when we removed Laurent Gbagbo from seats, Ouattara became the president of Ivory Coast. And up till now, he's still on seats. He still wants to continue ruling. I don't know till God knows who. I don't know when he decides to leave the seats. He still wants to continue being in power. Why? How can democracy trend when an individual will continue to perpetuate himself on seats in a country called Africa? Why things cannot work? Because to his father, the seat belongs to his mother, the seat belongs to his grandfather. We will continue to be there until he dies on seats. I mentioned many countries in Africa where their president have been on seat for over 30 years. Watch a place like Uganda. The president has been on seat for many years in Uganda. African presidents have decided to produce themselves in power at the detriment of the masses. In Uganda, the president who has been on seat up to now is still there. Many of you know the Ugandan president. He's still in seat today. Come to a place like Togo. Togo President Eyadema was on seat for many years until he was assassinated before his son, Major General Joseph Kabila, took on power. Joseph Kabila is still on seat in Togo, a small country like Togo. One family have been ruling the country for many years now. It's unfortunate. Life is not going to be like that. It's not supposed to be like that. With the best of my knowledge, in other African countries, a president cannot be on seat for over 20 years. Even after 8 years, he will come down. But in African setting, it is not so. Things are going wrong. Things are going out of hand. We, the Africans, are no more happy. Nobody's happy. A family, nobody can sleep in your house and sleep. Even this night, as I was talking, I don't know where, I don't know what next. I don't know how my family, in where they're staying, my village, I don't know how they're feeling. I don't know how comfortable they are. I don't know if they can be kidnapped this night. Yesterday, no, 120 students were kidnapped in a Christian-dominated school in Niger State. 125 children were kidnapped in a government school in Niger State. 3 days ago, 125 church worshippers were kidnapped inside the church. All of them were moved out. More than 4 or 6 was shot dead at that instance. They were shot dead. Why more than 20 children were kidnapped from another school again in Kebbi State? Still, that one is in northern Nigeria. Things are going out of hand. We are calling upon the international world, the international community to come to the aid of Africa. Africa needs help. Africa needs peace. Africa needs mercy. Africa needs special aid. Africa needs special help. I learned that President Donald Trump says he's going to help Africa. He's going to come to the aid of Africa, especially Nigeria. But up to today, after the last broadcast, everything has still turned to diplomatic way. No help yet. Things have not changed. Things are still going wrong. We are still dying. People are still dying day by day. No love, no peace. Nothing has changed. People are still suffering. People are still gnashing their teeth. Why? Because of bad government. The African government have failed everybody. African government have turned to familiocracy. We are no more practicing democracy in Africa. No more democracy in Africa. African democracy have turned to familiocracy. African democracy have turned to one-man show. African democracy have turned to family government. African democracy have turned to family government, friendship government. No more democracy. Children are suffering. Elderly people are suffering. The young ones are suffering. The society is crumbled. Things have turned to shaka. Nothing is working. Everywhere jaga. I call upon the international community to come and assist Africa. Many things have happened, and many things are still happening. People are suffering. People are dying. People are no more at peace. Family can never see food to chop. If you go to the market now, you can't see anything to buy. Even if you brought anything to the market, you will not see who to buy because nobody has money. Nobody sees anything to eat. African democracy has failed everybody. We are calling upon the international community to come and help Africa, especially Nigeria. Our leaders have decided to keep us in suffering. Our leaders have decided to keep us in perpetual suffer. Our leaders have turned democracy into familiocracy. Our leaders have turned democracy into one-man government. Our leaders have turned democracy into their family government, familiocracy. You and your family, you and your friends, you and your cronies. I remember when the president of Nigeria was contesting an election. Reason why you see today that militants or kidnappers are asking for 100,000 naira, 1 million naira, or 100 million naira for release of the kidnapped victim, because Nigerian politicians, they use 100 million naira, around 50 or 70,000 dollars to buy ordinary intent form. Intent form, that's interest form to contest for president. You use 100 million, around 70,000 dollars to buy form. Since that, every citizen being kidnapped by kidnapper, kidnappers will demand for 100 million as ransom. Imagine where people paid 100 million for ransom. How much do you have? If you cannot provide it, you will be killed. You and your family will be killed. It is unfortunate, and it's no more going well. That's why I decided to come on the aid, to ask for international community to come to the aid of Africa. Things are happening, and nobody's happy. We are no more surviving. It is no more easy for anybody. My brother, my sister, things are happening in Africa. We are calling upon the international community to come to our aid. I remember many countries again. In Gabon, let's assume in Gabon, one family have been ruling Gabon a year now. They have been ruling Gabon. Another president again came to Gabon. He have ruled for many years. Today, the president of Gabon is the son, adopted son. President of Gabon today is an adopted son of the former president. Imagine, in Africa, where a president will be on seat until he dies. Even when he is incapacitated, he will still continue to rule. When he dies, then his son will take over. It doesn't happen that way in the Western world, but only in Africa. That's why you see where a president will be on seat until he dies. His son will not take over. It is unfortunate. It is creating hardship. It is creating poverty. It is creating unbearable life to everybody, and it doesn't work well. It is not good that way. We call upon the international community to come and save Africa and the challenges we are having. It's no more talking good of us. Africa needs help. Africa needs a savior. Africa needs Messiah. Africa needs you to help us. Welcome, my dear. Welcome. What do you say? Best part of being your ex. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us on this live show. On this live show, we are talking about Africa and the democracy in Africa. African democracy has failed everybody. African democracy is now a family government. African democracy has turned to familocracy. African democracy has turned to one-man show. That is why I come live today to talk to our fellow viewers. Help us share this video. My name is Apostle Prince, Mr. Africana. I'm calling upon the international world to help us share this video, join us live, share this video. Let there be peace in Africa. We need intervention. African democracy has failed. We are suffering. People are suffering. The ladies are suffering. Women are suffering. People are suffering in Africa. Everybody is suffering. Kidnapping is now turned to the order of the day. People can never sleep anymore. People can never sleep in peace. People can never cannot sleep in their house again. People cannot enter public transport for at least 1 kilometer without being kidnapped. It's unfortunate. What is happening in Africa today is unbearable. Africans are suffering. People are japa. People are looking for a way to leave this country. People are looking for a way. If I see a way to take my family out of Africa, I will do that. Because life is no more easy. We are no more finding life easy in Africa. We are seeing things very difficult. Even to see food and buy. If you even bring food from your farm, you will not even see any buyer because nobody has cash. Nobody has money to buy. The government is keeping deaf ear on everybody. Things are going wrong in Africa. Our leaders have turned our democracy into familocracy. Our leaders in Africa have turned our democracy into one-man government. They have turned our democracy into their family government. Only you and your family and your friends and their cronies that you will know. As soon as you enter power, you forgot that every other person has been existing. When you leave the seat, you will begin to remember, say, I would have did this, I would have did that, I would have did that. But when you're on the seat, you will forget everybody. I remember when President Obasanjo was on seat, people talked to him to do the right thing, but he could not do it. But now he's out of seat, he's talking. So what I'm saying, African democracy. Yeah, my dear friends, my dear brothers and sisters, we are going to continue this live show very soon. Please, we are going to continue this live show in a few minutes' time. Our data is about to go off. I'm talking about democracy is nothing to write home about. Things is happening in Africa and nobody's happy anymore. Things is happening in Africa and people are suffering. Things is happening in Africa and people are dying. African democracy needs help now. Please, we are going to continue this live stream very soon. Let me just add data because our data is showing us that the data is about to go off. Please join us in a few minutes time, please.